Renuka Swamy, a 33-year-old man from Karnataka, India, lived a modest yet meaningful life. Born into a family of farmers, he grew up embracing both the struggles and the unique beauty of rural life. From a young age, Renuka worked hard to support his loved ones, always prioritizing their well-being. Over time, he moved closer to the city, finding a job at a pharmacy and slowly adjusting to an entirely different rhythm of life. About a year ago, Renuka entered an exciting chapter of his journey. He married the love of his life. This new beginning filled him with hope, but the joy didn't stop there. The couple soon learned they were expecting their first child, a moment that turned their world into one of eager anticipation and boundless happiness. Together, they began preparing for the arrival of their little one, dreaming of the family they were about to create. Renuka was no stranger to hard work. His days at the pharmacies started before sunrise, and by the time he returned home after long hours, exhaustion often took over. Yet, he found immense satisfaction in knowing his efforts were shaping a brighter future for his family. Whenever he needed a break from the grind, Renuka turned to his passions for a dose of positivity. One of these passions stood out above all: cinema. But for Renuka, films were more than just a source of entertainment. They were a window to inspiration and escape. Among the many stars in Indian cinema, one name shone the brightest for Renuka: Darshan. To him, Darshan wasn't just an actor. He was an icon, a role model, and a larger-than-life figure. Renuka followed everything about Darshan with heartfelt dedication, reading articles, watching interviews, and keeping up with every movie update. Scrolling through Darshan's social media became almost a daily ritual, allowing him to immerse himself in the actor's incredible universe. Over the years, this admiration deepened, growing into a profound connection. Darshan, formerly known as Hemant Kumar, was a colossal figure in South Indian cinema, especially in his home state of Karnataka. Famous for his blockbuster films, Darshan won fans' hearts by portraying characters that often fought against injustice and championed the underdog. His latest film, Katera, turned out to be a historic success, grossing over 1 billion rupees and further cementing his legacy in Indian cinema. But Darshan's charm went beyond just box office numbers. To his fans, he symbolized hope and resilience, a living proof that one could dream big no matter their background. For Renuka, Darshan was more than an actor. He was an inspiration. However, behind the glitz and glamour of stardom often lies a far more complicated reality. In 2016, scandalous and deeply unsettling allegations surfaced against Darshan. His wife, Vijayalakshmi, accused him of domestic violence and filed formal complaints, shaking the foundation of his carefully built public image. For fans like Renuka, the allegations felt like a punch to the gut, a jarring contradiction to the hero they had cherished for years. The media frenzy that followed only added to the chaos, leaving many unsure of what to believe. Darshan, however, chose to remain silent, and the cloud of doubt around his once spotless reputation lingered. For someone like Renuka, the divide became painfully clear. The heroic ideals of his favorite star clashed with the troubling accusations of his personal life, making the admiration harder to hold on to. Over time, these controversies seemed to quietly slip into the background. When the complaint was withdrawn in 2021, many believed the chapter had finally closed. But Renuka, she appeared completely unfazed, remaining calm and carrying on as though the scandals hadn't fazed her in the slightest. Just as it felt like the dust had settled, though, the story twisted in a way no one saw coming. Rumors began swirling about Darshan's alleged affair with actress Pavitra Gowda, thrusting his life into a whirlwind of complexity and controversy. The media, of course, wasted no time diving headfirst into the drama, amplifying the gossip. Reports emerged suggesting that Darshan and Pavitra, who initially connected while working on a film together, had developed more than just a professional relationship. Pavitra, a single mother rebuilding her life after a previous marriage, suddenly found herself in the glaring spotlight. To add fuel to the fire, Darshan was still legally married, making the rumors even more explosive. As whispers turned into heated debates, social media went ablaze. Opinions flew left and right. While some were quick to condemn, Darshan's devoted fan base rallied behind him, dismissing the allegations as baseless. For his fans, no scandal seemed big enough to shake their unwavering loyalty. But things were about to heat up in ways nobody could have predicted. On January 2nd, 2024, Pavitra posted a message on Instagram that sent shockwaves through the internet. The caption read, "1 year down, many more to go." Seemingly innocent, it sparked wild speculation among Darshan's fan base, with many interpreting it as an unofficial confirmation of their rumored relationship. The backlash was swift and brutal. Pavitra found herself at the center of cruel attacks online, with furious fans accusing her of destroying Darshan's marriage. Her comment sections turned into a war zone, flooded with hateful messages calling her names like homewrecker and worse. Adding to the drama, Darshan's wife Vijay Lakshmi posted her own message just days later. Alongside a family photo, her caption read, "This is our one and only family above everything else." Though she didn't name anyone, the timing was enough to throw more fuel on the fire, intensifying the attacks against Pavitra. While the chaos continued to escalate online, one incident deeply shook Pavitra. Amid the hateful messages flooding her inbox, one in particular stood out. It came from an anonymous account that, shockingly, turned out to belong to a fan of Darshan, Renuka Swamy. Hiding behind a fake profile, Renuka had been incessantly harassing Pavitra with vulgar, threatening messages. In one especially disturbing instance, he sent her an explicit image of himself, captioned, "I'm better than Darshan." The constant harassment eventually became overwhelming for Pavitra. Exhausted and seeking help, she turned to Darshan. He promised to protect her and bring the harassment to an end. "Don't worry," he reassured her. "I'll handle this." Using his network, Darshan, along with the help of Raghavendra, a member of his fan club, managed to track the account back to Renuka. What followed was a carefully orchestrated plan. Using the pretext of a fan meet and greet, they reached out to Renuka, claiming that Darshan wanted to meet him personally. Thrilled and blinded by excitement, Renuka jumped at the opportunity. He traveled all the way from Chitradurga to Bangalore, convinced this was once-in-a-lifetime chance to meet his idol. Little did he know, this meeting would lead to something far darker than he could have imagined. Fast forward to the morning of June 9th, 2024, near a drainage canal in Bangalore. A security guard noticed a group of stray dogs acting strangely, growling and tugging at something. Concerned, he went to take a closer look. What he found left him horrified. Alarmed, he immediately called the authorities. By the end of the day, news broke that would leave everyone in shock. The body discovered at the scene was that of Renuka Swamy, confirmed by his belongings and clothing. The man who had thought he was heading for a dream meeting had instead ended up at the center of a tragic and unforeseen nightmare, leaving everyone reeling in disbelief. The police launched an investigation to uncover the truth behind the murder, but an unexpected twist turned the case upside down. In a shocking move, the suspects surrendered far sooner than anyone anticipated. Early in the morning on June 10th, 3 men, Raghavendra and 2 of his associates, walked into the police station and voluntarily confessed to the crime. The officers were stunned. It's not every day that suspects in a murder case willingly give themselves up. Raghavendra and his accomplices claimed they had killed Renuka over a financial dispute. At first, their stories seemed plausible. Money disputes are a common motive in such cases. But as investigators dug deeper, inconsistencies started to emerge. Something about their confession didn't sit right, so the police decided to analyze their phone records. The plan was straightforward. Confirm the trio's locations and communication patterns on the day of the murder. Instead, what they uncovered was chilling. The phone records revealed repeated calls to a number registered to none other than Darshan Thugdipa, a well-known actor. This bombshell revelation cast doubt on the suspect's confession and drove the investigators to intensify their efforts. During tougher rounds of interrogation, cracks appeared in their story. It became increasingly clear that Raghavendra and the others might be covering for someone else. The team was determined to uncover the complete truth. A breakthrough came when investigators reviewed security footage from June 8th and found undeniable evidence of Renuka Swamy's abduction. As more proof surfaced, Raghavendra and his associates couldn't hold out any longer. They confessed not only to the murder, but also to the horrifying sequence of events that had unfolded. According to their new statement, Raghavendra had tricked Renuka into visiting an isolated property, allegedly arranged by one of Darshan's associates, under the false pretense of meeting the actor. What followed was a nightmare. Renuka was ambushed, tied up, and subjected to hours of brutal torture. Later that evening, Darshan himself allegedly arrived and took part in the assault, shockingly, using a belt to savagely beat Renuka. To make matters worse, the suspects claimed that Darshan instructed Pavitra Gowda to join in. Following his lead, she reportedly removed her shoe and struck Renuka repeatedly, escalating the horrific violence. The brutality only worsened. Renuka was hit with wooden sticks, slammed into walls, and even subjected to electric shocks. The injuries were horrific, ranging from severe burns to a fractured jawbone, a ruptured testicle, and countless other wounds. After hours of unimaginable torture, Renuka ultimately died from shock and blood loss. In an effort to cover up the crime, Darshan allegedly paid Raghavendra a significant amount of money to dispose of the body. But, as we now know, their plan fell apart. With these confessions, investigators gathered further evidence tying Darshan to the crime. On June 8th, police arrested him at a hotel in Mysore. Shortly afterward, Pavitra Gowda and 11 others connected to the case were also taken into custody. The case took an even darker turn when Pavitra was labeled the mastermind behind the operation. Prosecutors argued that she planned the entire crime, manipulating Darshan and others to execute her scheme. Darshan, meanwhile, was portrayed as an active and central figure in the gruesome events. Fast forward to December 2024, and the Karnataka High Court granted conditional bail to Darshan, Pavitra, and 5 other suspects. The court determined that most of the evidence had been collected and there was minimal risk of them interfering with the ongoing judicial process. Their bail came with strict conditions, including a travel ban and mandatory check-ins with authorities. Today, the case remains unresolved. Prosecutors continue to assert that Darshan and Pavitra meticulously orchestrated Renuka's murder. Meanwhile, the defense firmly maintains their innocence. The truth behind this grim and high-profile case is yet to fully come to light. Only time will reveal what truly happened.
Before we conclude this video, please be aware that the video on the left may be disturbing. It is recommended for adult viewing only. On the right, you'll find a playlist of videos that have been highly appreciated by our viewers.